if it had been later, then it will be an opportunity for some people to falsify its message. That is why we go to the Surah Al-Nahl, verse 62. Allah says about some people. When He says, Allah mentioned, He said, Ma kunta. Look at it. Allah says, Ma kunta tatlu min qablihi min kitabi wala takhutuhu biyaminika. أَيْذَا أَتَّبَعَ الْمُبْتِلُونَ. Now the verse means that He said, you do not write before it a book. Don't that you do not write before it a book. Neither do you pen anything with your hand. Unless those people will have doubt. Who will have doubt? Those people who have falsified mind. Who believe in falsehood. Because there are some people, their intention is to come to falsify your message. So if Rasulullah claimed to have had knowledge from somewhere before the Quran was revealed and he wrote it, then they will say, oh, you went to so school. We know where you went to. For example, if I am to write a book and I write a book, you know my biography. You know I went to so school. So through that process of my learning, I came up with this book. So, but there's no trace where Rasulullah went to, whether I was school in an Arab school or one school or the other, or from the school from Jews or Christians or the Judeo-Christian school. No, there was no evidence of school that Rasulullah went to. So with that, it shows the miracle in it, that the Quran was revealed directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to him, to his heart, then he explained it. Now, I've explained that part. Now, the second part I want to explain is he also said that the Quran was not in the presence of the Prophet. The Prophet did not have the Quran with him during his lifetime. That is wrong. The Quran was revealed completely in the time of the Prophet. Because even after it had been completed in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 3, which is chapter 5 of the Quran, verse 3, when I say, Akmatu lakum dinakum wa atma'tu alaykum ni'mati. Now, when it means that the religion has been completed in my presence. I've completed the religion. And I've completed thy favor. What's the favor of the Quran? So everything was revealed in time of Rasulullah, completed in time of the Prophet. The Prophet had the complete Quran in his time. They used to recite the Quran in his time. Even Aisha said, used to recite the Quran in the month of Ramadan. That Quran was there in time of the Prophet. So how come a scholar like this, who claim to have studied the Quran and also believed they have studied Hadith and come to say that there was no Quran in time of the Prophet? Now, I will quote the Hadith. This one is Sahih Bukhari. This is Sahih Bukhari to show that Umar ibn Khattab admitted that Quran was with him in the time of the Prophet. Full Quran was mentioned with him. So let's examine from the Sahih Bukhari. Look at Sahih Bukhari Hadith, which is one of the Sahih books of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, accepted and authenticated by Albani and many great scholars. It's found in Hadith number 114. It was reported from Hadith number 114. As I read from the Hadith, he says, from Ibn Abbas, because I want to rush from Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas, قال رسول الله أتونا بكتابي أكتب لكم لا تدلوا بعده أبدا. Come to me that I write for you a book that you will never go astray after it. Then قال Umar said, Umar said that أشتد عليه وجهه. The thickness have taken over him. So hasbuna kitab Allah. Hasbuna kitab Allah. Wa indana, they say indana kitab Allah hasbuna. The Quran is sufficient for us. I mean, they have the kitab Allah with them. When you say kitab Allah, it's Quran. That is, Umar is admitting that they have the Quran with them. So if they have the Quran with them, even in time of the Prophet, when he was still alive, when Rasulullah was in a sick bed, it's a clear evidence that the Quran was evident and was present in the time of the Prophet. So not after the Prophet. Now, but the Quran might not be in whole. There are parts. So by the Rasulullah, after his demise, there were some crises in the Muslim world. So maybe some crisis amongst some companions. But at the end of the day, Uthman ibn Affan, when he settled down as a Caliph of the Ummah, he decided to compile the Quran by the use of some great companions who have memorized the Quran by heart and also have some copies with them. And they decided to compile it in whole. that we have today. And the leader of those compilers was Zayd ibn Thabit. Another was Ubay ibn Ka'ab, was a very known reciter of the Quran, also the Imam of the Jum'ah and Salah. And we find that those people compiled the Quran. But the Quran was present in the time of Rasul in his lifetime. They used to recite it in month of Ramadan and other months. Now, I want to correct again. Now, this issue is said that there's one important thing I want to say that shocked my mind because it's so bizarre that even to me as a Muslim, I'm so embarrassed to see that how can someone like a great alim who claimed to be a scholar, although maybe I don't know whether he's been seduced or induced by something else, but the truth of the matter is that why will he come on air to tell us that Rasulullah says he does not know what will happen to him? A man who has been preaching for 10 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina, 13 years in Mecca, does not know what will happen to him? How can someone who faced the dilemma of losing his family, life, and heritage, and his own privilege, does not know what will happen to him, doesn't know where he's fighting for? So if, for example, as I am, I'm going to school to graduate from university, I say I want to study medicine, I know where I'm going to. Even if I'm having 6 years ahead of me, I'm still young. For example, want to go to school and I've not even finished my secondary school, but I have the determination to be a medical doctor. And so I have a direction. So how can you say Rasulullah of preaching 23 years of his life does not have direction? La, this is so embarrassing, so bizarre. Rasulullah has direction. I used to say that Jannah is his calling, his goal. Now let's assume if it does not, because of the verse which was said, look at the verse the center of, because the verse is found in Surah Al-Aqaf, verse 9. When Allah says, Kul, Allah is telling Rasulullah, Kul, ma kuntu bid'a min rusuli. Ma kuntu bid'a min rusuli. Then he said, Wala ma adri ma yuf'alu bi wala bikum. That's what Quran says. He said, don't say you are not a new person among the Rasul. And I said, Allah was telling Rasulullah to say that to the people. You are not new among the Rasul, that you say that you do not know what will befall you, what will happen to you, and what will happen to them. Or what will happen to Rasulullah, be, what will happen to me, and what will happen to you. And he continued to say, وَإِنْ أَتَّبِعْ I only follow. Look at, they did not quote that verse. They don't quote that part of the verse. When he say that I follow nothing but revelation that was sent to me. So I'm just only a warner. Now look at these two phrases, these two sentences in that phrase. He said, I am only but a warner. Now I do not follow except what has been revealed unto me. Now, what does that imply? It explains what was said before. That when he says that la adri ma yuf'alu bi wala bikum. Now, in the sense that when some people came to Rasulullah, it was said that they will come and they say, okay, you tell me because you claim you are Rasul. Tell me what will happen to me tomorrow. Tell me what will happen to me. Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to have money next 3 months or 3 years? Am I going to get married in 5 years? Or what will be my name of my child? They will come with different questions to ask Rasulullah, to tell them about their life, so that to prove that he was a genuine prophet. But that was not the way to classify a genuine prophet. Even Allah, even when Jesus Christ was alive, when he was in his time, the mother of James and John came to the message of God, which is Jesus Christ, came to him and said, okay, oh, the way James and John are sitting beside you, they're sitting right and left side of you, let them be so on the day of when they meet you and meet your Lord. When you are with your Lord, you should be there with your Lord. Jesus said, no, this is not my position to do. So Allah. And also in another verse in Matthew 24, verse 30, it said, no one knows the end, the hour, even the angels, except God. So you see, there's some knowledge that Jesus Christ is restricted to have and not to have. So this is exactly what happened to our prophets. So he's just being humble to say that he does not know what will before him, and so to explain to them that don't come with such message to me. Let Allah reveal to me first, then I will tell you. It's just it. Thank you, brothers and sisters. My name is Sadiq platform Become of Islam. Please share this video for those brothers to understand and not to be confused and be deceived by those gullible scholars. Thank you.